Hello and welcome. This is Colby Cheese and you're watching Summoner Academy, your home for League of Legends tips, tricks, and strategies. Today is episode number 2, setting up and choosing default rune pages and masteries. We'll be going over some all-purpose rune and mastery pages in order to keep you from wasting thousands of influence points on useless runes that will make you kick yourself later for buying them. I'm also going to go through some tricks to get you through that a lot faster. And I do have to say that I wish I had this tutorial when I was first beginning the game, because I was just so dumb with buying runes. I bought all the wrong type of runes. I literally don't use any of the runes that I bought when I first began, and I'm still, at this point, even though I've been playing since beta, I'm still buying runes that I have missed out on. So hopefully this guide will help you out to get your character set up to the most efficient level as possible. Also, with the least amount of influence points spent, or should I say wasted. I'm gonna go ahead and start off the video showing you which runes that you need to set up. The first thing that you need to know, though, is that it is a complete waste of influence points to buy any non-tier 3 runes. Don't even bother with runes until you are past summoner level 20. Trust me on this one. It just isn't worth it. Now, you begin with 3 pages that you can set up, I believe, and those 3 pages that you're going to be setting up today are an attack damage page, an ability power page, and then a jungle/tank page, which can be kind of interchangeable. As far as which one you actually want to begin building first, I'd say just decide which type of champion that you like to play the most and start there. So if you like playing champions like Ashe or Caitlyn, we'll go for an attack damage page, whereas if you like Annie and Sion and things like that, then you'll go for the ability power page. But if you want to play something like Warwick or Olaf or any of those junglers, then we'll go ahead and set up a jungle page. In my opinion, the attack damage page would be the best to begin with, as it works with most champions, and the runes that you're going to get are interchangeable with the jungle page also. This rune setup focuses on big lane dominance early game by doing as much damage as possible and also reducing the incoming damage to yourself. Okay, so the runes that I get are all armor penetration red runes, and then I'll get 1 armor penetration quintessence, 2 flat attack damage quintessences, and then I'll go for a full yellow of armor, and then on your blues, you can get whatever you like here. But what I've come to find is that the magic resist is the most beneficial for me, especially going into late game. So what I'll do is I'll go for 3 flat magic resist blues, and for the rest, I'll just go magic resist at level 18. So let me quickly explain why this page is best for most champions. Now, except for maybe 3 different champions in the game, the highest amount of armor that any champion is going to have as a base stat is going to be around 18 or below. So for instance, Ashe actually starts off with 13 armor. What armor penetration does is it actually allows you to do a full amount of damage to an enemy champion. Now, on low amounts of armor, armor pen is actually more and more effective. Of course, once they get to very high amounts of armor, then your armor penetration is not as effective. But again, this is for your early game, and most people are going to have very low amounts of armor. So with that same idea in mind, you also get your own 13 flat armor to kind of counteract other people's 15 armor pen that most people actually get. And then as far as the attack damage quintessences, that just gives you a little bit of extra oomph as well, especially on abilities that will scale with attack damage, such as Ashe's W spell. The reason I only have 3 of the flat magic resist runes rather than all flat for the early game is that most champions actually will begin with 30 magic resist, and the 4 magic resist that you can get with the flat runes is going to give you half of what any magic pen runes anybody's going to get will have. And then the magic resist per level is more just for the late game actually, where most people don't like to buy a lot of magic resist items. You can go for more armor if you'd like. Either way, it's just kind of a good rune choice for those blues since there's not a lot of other options in the first place. just to give you a quick example, check out how in this clip here, I'm using the page that I just told you about with a 2109 mastery setup, and the enemy Ash actually has no runes whatsoever. Notice how the enemy Ash actually hits me for considerably less damage than I'm hitting her for. One auto attack crit plus a regular auto attack and then a volley ability from me does 324 damage to the enemy Ash, whereas her combination of a crit, regular attack, and a volley does only 253 damage. That's a 71 damage difference with only that small amount of combination. So in an actual laning phase, I'll be doing much more damage to her over the long run, whereas we'll be trading hits back and forth and poking. I'll eventually come out ahead. Also, I can take a couple of creep hits and shrug off a little bit of that damage due to the fact that I will be having a little bit of extra armor than the enemy Ash. So let's go on to the next one. For your ability power page, what you want to go for on this one is magic penetration for your red runes. And then on your quintessences, I'll go for flat ability power, which equals up to 15. On your yellows, I'll do mana regen per 5 at level 18. And on blues, we'll do cooldown percentage at level 18. And to explain this page, what I'll say is that, again, it is an early game page, so you've got your magic penetration to go through a good decent amount of their magic resist. Most champions actually have 30 magic resist, and so it's going to be kind of difficult to get to that penetration amount until you get your sorcerer boots later on, but that's another story altogether. Now, the extra 15 ability power is going to be good for your abilities. Most ability power champions have some pretty decent scaling, so that'll help out quite a bit. And then, of course, with any kind of ability spamming, you're going to want to have a little bit of mana regen. So I pop those into those yellows. And for your blues, there is a little bit of debate on whether the cooldown percentage flat amounts or cooldown percentage at 18 is better. And I'll say, based on my experience, the cooldown percentage at level 18 is definitely the best due to the fact that you don't really want to be spamming your spells a whole lot early game since you don't have enough mana to do so. And the cooldown percentage at level 18 runes will actually even out at level 11. Also, they're about half as cheap as the flat ones. So I would say for sure go with the cooldown percentage at level 18. Now, finally, for an all-purpose jungle page, this is going to be a little bit similar to the attack damage one. However, instead of the armor pin red runes, you're actually going to get attack speed red runes, and then you're going to get full armor penetration quintessences, and you'll go for the armor, once again, the flat armor on your yellows, and then for your blue runes, we will just do the same thing as the other pages with the 3 flat magic resist blue runes, and then the rest doing the magic resist at level 18. The reason that we use this page is that with most junglers, your full damage to the creeps is mostly reliant on your auto attack damage, so of course you want to attack as much as possible. The armor runes are just going to give you a little bit of extra survivability in those early levels when the creeps are actually hitting you for quite a bit. You want to absorb as much as possible. The final thing I'll leave you with runes is that when you're actually setting up your pages, rather than going in there and actually dragging each rune to the page, all you have to do is right-click on the rune from the left side, and that'll automatically place the rune into the first available rune slot. So hopefully that helps you with that. Finally, let's jump into a little bit of mastery page setup. These don't actually require as much explanation, but the cool thing is that now you can set up multiple mastery pages and rename them to your liking, so you don't actually have to worry about missing out on putting in your masteries when you're like last minute into a game. So let's go ahead and just look at the standard mastery setups for most champions. First of all, you've got the 9-0-21. This is going to be your general setup for most caster champions. What it does, it allows you to give the cooldown reduction as well as the magic penetration from the archaic knowledge and sorcery masteries, and then you're going to go down for the reduced cooldowns on not only your intelligence mastery but also presence of the master, which gives you reduced summoner ability cooldowns. And so overall, that's going to be the best mastery page for actually most champions in the game. The only thing you'll really be swapping out here is possibly the Ghost or the Flash, possibly a Mystical Vision if you're going to go for more of a support champion. And so that's really the main thing you need to look at from my page here that I've got. Another common setup that you can do with champions that are mostly attack damage or damage based, and you want to just give the best output possible, is to go for a 2109 build. Now, I actually like to vary this a little bit. You'll have to think about which champion you're playing, but a lot of attack damage champions actually don't do very much magic damage. So I'll skip the Archaic Knowledge Mastery, which gives you that 15% magic resist, and instead put a couple of points into Alacrity. Now, Alacrity is not necessarily that great of a mastery because it only gives you a little bit of attack speed for a few mastery points. However, the main things you want to get is the armor penetration and the attack damage, and of course the critical strike damage increase. I didn't mention this on my last mastery page setup, but there is definitely a lot of debate on whether Good Hands or Perseverance is a better mastery choice. And based on the actual numbers that Perseverance gives you, which is not a lot, it's definitely a lot better to go for the Good Hands, because whether you like it or not, you are going to die in the game, and 10% reduction on the time spent dead is a huge amount, and it could be the difference between you actually losing a game or winning when you're really needing to count those seconds between the time that you just died and when you can come back and defend that inhibitor. And finally, for most of my jungle setups, I actually like to do a little bit of a mix-up on the different masteries. What I'll do is I'll go for a 13-3-14 type of build, which allows me to get the armor penetration to attack the creeps a little bit harder. I'll have the Alacrity for the increased attack speed and a little bit of cooldown reduction, and then I'll have the extra 6 armor from Hardiness in the defense tree. And of course, going down into the utility tree, I'll be able to pick up the point into Flash and the all-important increase of the duration for your neutral monster buffs by 30%. That's a huge thing for those jungle champions. Another thing that a lot of people didn't actually realize when entering in mastery pages is you can use the scroll wheel to remove or to add extra ability points rather than the right clicking. So hopefully that will actually help you out in that regards. But anyhow, hope you guys did enjoy the second episode of Summoner Academy. I know it wasn't very gameplay related. However, I do know that when I first started the game, this was a tutorial that I really wish I had, because I made a whole lot of mistakes with my runes and masteries, and most likely you've learned at least 1 or 2 things here today, and you can move that into your list of things that you don't have to worry about anymore. This is Colby Cheese. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned next week when we go over different laning topics, and I'll definitely have a lot to talk about in that episode. So be sure to subscribe and put a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. And I also have a Facebook page as well as a Twitter. You can connect with me on those pages. I'll see you guys around for the next one. Peace out.